Okay, as part of the Dorset Police's Your View campaign, I'm here to introduce and explain a bit about the No Excuses campaign. I'm Police Sergeant Stuart Pitman, currently responsible for running and the day-to-day administration of the No Excuse campaign. Its primary aim is solely to reduce the number of people killed or seriously injured on Dorset's roads, and also to improve engagement with the community and to address local and public concerns. Now, we deploy to areas that the public have asked us to be. We are totally transparent in our deployments, in line with our code of ethics, and on being challenged we can demonstrate that we have evidence to support the reasons why we are in certain areas. We also respond to high incidents of collisions on certain roads within Dorset. And whilst we're out on deployments, the primary aim is also to engage with the motorists that we stop, both from an educational and an enforcement point of view. No Excuses is brand. It's part of a much larger brand involving all of our partners within Dorset Fire and Rescue, local authority and various other smaller councils and parish councils around Dorset. Now, not only do I lead a team of 5 full-time police constables, but also a large team of special constables. They are equally responsible for deploying to those locations and have received additional training to enhance our service to the public. Now, so far as a result of the No Excuse campaign, we've received a number of positive inquiries, both through our chief officers, our force website and also our Facebook and our Twitter sites, which are becoming extremely popular and have provided a very good source of debate for members of the public. Every single comment on those sites are looked at and we listen to what the public want. And as a result of those comments, that has resulted in new initiatives, one of which is to invite members of the public out to engage with us and to observe the work that we do. And we ensure that the members of the public that we stop can be made fully aware from my officers' experiences in having to deal with these sometimes particularly nasty incidents and crashes, the impact that these can have on both offenders and victims' families. Now, one source of enforcement or avenue that we take is to refer people for driver awareness courses. Very rarely do people have any additional driving training since they passed their test at 17 or 18 years of age. And this 3.5 hour course serves as a re-chip or a re-education of people, just to remember a few golden nuggets of how they can improve their safety and what may well happen. Quite often members of the public and drivers feel that it's never going to happen to me. Well, unfortunately, we're able to provide evidence that that can happen to anyone on the road. And I'd just like to remind people that it's not always what you do that causes the collisions. Now, No Excuse campaign so far is working. It is reducing the number of collisions on our roads, but there's still a lot more work to be done.
My name's Bob Brown. I'm a Magna Road resident, and I got fed up with the speed of the traffic along the Magna Road. So I wrote to the Chief Constable, Debbie Simpson, and Debbie put me in touch with Brian Austin, part of the No Excuse team, who then organised part of the traffic unit, Sergeant Stuart Pitman, and one of his officers, Rob, to come along and start doing some traffic monitoring and awareness of the speed that people were doing on the Magna Road. That's a few months ago now, and they've been coming along fairly regularly, monitoring the traffic. Those motorists who are travelling a few miles over the top get a warning. Those motorists that are doing 10 or 12 miles over the top, or even more on some occasions, I think usually get a ticket. It has made a difference. It is trying to make people aware that this is a 30-mile-an-hour limit. People do have to cross the road to the post office. That can be quite difficult, particularly as in my case my wife's in a wheelchair and she'll no longer cross the road because of the speed of traffic and the impatience of some drivers when they're slowed down on their way to work or going home. They're doing a cracking job as far as I'm concerned. They're sorting out, or trying to sort out, make people aware that the speed they travel at is dangerous and not a healthy thing to do for people who are walking along or the noise they make.
What you think might be too close, somebody else might think, well, actually that's okay. So there's a lot of group discussions and stuff like that. So is that something you prefer to do rather than take the points? Yeah? Okay. Cool. But as you can see, we've just stopped the commercial vehicle. It was a Volkswagen Transporter. As we were coming down the Dorset way, which is a dual carriageway, we noticed the vehicle is a commercial vehicle, is limited to 60 miles an hour on that particular stretch of road. However, it was we used the in-car speed detection devices, and we registered it between 75 and 78 miles an hour, so that's obviously excess speed for that type of vehicle. We got it on camera. The vehicle came right up behind a Southern Electric vehicle, and it was about 10 feet behind it, and it was pushing it all along. If that vehicle had done anything, braked, had to slow down, change direction, then the Volkswagen Transporter would have just gone straight into the back of it. So we discussed it, looking at it, and we felt that it's driving without due care and attention, and the excess speed. We stopped the lady. She totally admitted, realising that she was going too fast and she was a little bit too close to the vehicle in front. So we've stopped her, done the checks, and she was eligible for driver awareness course, which is why we offered her that. And hopefully she'll go on one soon and become a better driver from it. Lady, it's a very, very, very busy. It's just after 5 o'clock. Poole Town Centre, really, really busy. We've just come over the Towngate flyover, and this lady's just total disregard to other vehicles, come flying past us. Yeah, we again use the in-car system, and the result of that is that the lady's average speed is 41 miles an hour. We were driving, you came towards us, you had the phone up to your right hand. Okay, so spun round and round about and followed you back down here. Right. And really pointing your driving licence at the moment. Have you ever been on a driver awareness scheme course? No? Do you know what one is or not? Right, okay, basically it's a training course that's set up, and it's there to try and make people more aware of what they're doing whilst they're driving. We saw a car coming towards us. He had the phone in his right hand up to his right ear. Turned around and followed him, pulled him over. He's never been on any kind of driver awareness scheme course or anything like that. He's got no points on his licence. He'd done some training about 12 years ago, the Institute of Advanced Motorists. So he's going to go on a driver awareness scheme course to avoid having any points on his licence. So it's a kind of pound thing. You can sit and have a beer while you're doing it, and it's an online course. Basically, essentially taking us why you should wear your seatbelt. Part of the Fatal Five, one of the things is obviously no seatbelts, because even though a lot of drivers consider that their risk, the problem we have with seatbelt people who don't wear them is if they are involved in an accident, it has a knock-on effect because they can injure themselves, etc, etc. We're just coming down Ashley Road very clearly. A gent had a very light t-shirt on, seatbelt was up against the door pillar. Stopped the chap, absolutely totally hands up. He wasn't exempt. The belt is in working order. He just literally just got in, forgot all about it. So we've offered him the new thing that there's a driver awareness course that they can do online now, which reduces the fine, and it's a bit of training for them, and they can sit in the comfort of their own home and do it online. And he's really pleased that he's doing that, and hopefully he'll learn something from it. And he was very apologetic, so that's what we're going to plan to do with the gent.
The prevention of drink and drug driving is a key element in our efforts to reduce death and injury on the roads of Dorset. Now, we know that drink and drug driving remains a significant contributory factor in road deaths in Dorset, and in fact about 25% of the road deaths that happen in Dorset actually involve alcohol. Those who decide to risk the safety of others by drinking and driving will be arrested, and they will be prosecuted.